Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Megan,
And this is Joe Smith.
and we're back again for the Do Better podcast live recording. It's not as live as it used to be because we can't get Facebook Live to work, but we do have a couple folks from the membership here with us today. So, welcome, Nicole and Juliana. We have our wheel to spin, so I'm going to go ahead and spin it. And then we might actually have a guest in July or August that is going to be talking about kind extinction. His name's Jared. He's a Do Better member that's just really excited to share with us what he's doing with that. So I'm not sure yet which month he's going to be joining us, but one of those 2 months coming up. Or sorry, June or July.
That's awesome.
Here goes the wheel. It's a very slow wheel.
It's very green.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm sure there's colors I could pick, but oh, look at that.
Nice. Spring cleaning.
All right, so we're gonna do spring cleaning, which I guess makes sense considering we're almost to summer. So if we were gonna talk about this topic, now's the time to do it. Nicole and I were actually just chatting before you got on, Joe, and I was talking about how I had really big hopes because I wasn't really traveling much in like March and April and May, and I was like, we will get some spring cleaning done this year. And we got absolutely zero done. So I honestly, this is a topic I don't have much to say because I need someone to teach me how to spring clean. So, Joe, have you done any spring cleaning?
We actually have we been slowly getting ready for my wife is slowly getting into that nesting phase of pregnancy. So we're starting to clean out the toys. We're starting to clean out, things that we don't use anymore. Um, I think the biggest thing uh that could be, if we look at this behaviorally, maybe slice down the number of tasks that you have to do. So then they're more manageable. Maybe start with something that's super small and super you know s- super easy to get done and to build up behavior momentum and just continue your progress, because I know for me, once I start on some one task that's small, that's easy to do, then I get motivated to do more. And by the end of the day, I'm like, holy crap, I did so much today. Sometimes the best thing is just to start somewhere and just do it. Say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes on this one task. Ends up being 3 hours.
Yeah.
Um, I know, so that's personal, but as far as as a behavior analyst and spring cleaning just my practice. So I like to take a technology spring clean too, and go through files and delete files I don't need, or I'll take an hour and I'll go through emails that I don't need, and I'll clean out my email box. Or I'll tell. I mean, another one is my the big one for me is my drive, my Google Drive, or any type of online cloud storage. I need to make sure even my personal files, just to clean it out and organize my files into something that is manageable and I know what each file has in it, um, and get rid of the individual files that have no home. That's the bane of my existence, right there. Is just when I download something, I don't put it into a folder right away,
Yeah.
and it just stays there, and then I'm like, where is this at?
You should see my downloads. You
I
would
don't
be
want
very
to.
overwhelmed.
I don't want to. Um, I know how bad my old laptop was, and how the amount of downloads I have and just stuck in a download box without it being organized into somewhere else. And it's like, my God, I really had to sit down and do this because I just have so much here and I don't know what it is. Because also, when I download, I don't necessarily, it's an automatic download, so I don't name it right away.
Yeah.
And then you get this ZX9MC like name, and you have no clue what it is.
Yep.
So yeah, that's little tips I have for spring cleaning, and like as a behavior analyst, like for me, like what type of spring cleaning I'm doing.
Yeah. Um, well, you're maybe motivating me. The problem is I just right now I feel like I'm barely making it through each day and the idea of trying to clean anything is so overwhelming. But I definitely really need I think if I picked the thing that needs to be organized the most, it's definitely my computer
Yeah.
because but sometimes when I'm on flights, I like, and they don't have internet, that's when I'll work on it. But it gets hard because I want to put stuff in the cloud. So
Hmm.
then I have like, I guess like I create this folder that's like need to upload. So I know because I want, it's like stuff I want to make sure if my computer were to crash or something, I would have like a backup.
Yeah.
And I used to have like an automatic backup thing, but I've just never set that up once I moved. But anyway, so I haven't organized my computer in a really long time. So that's probably the one I need to do the most. The other one that I wanted to do that I really thought, like you were saying, manageable steps. And so I thought that would be the easiest is we have a ton of books and they take up a lot of space. And so I thought it would be nice. I went through a lot of my books before I moved a few years ago. So honestly, most of the books I have aren't I don't think need to be anything donated or whatever. And I know it's hard to get rid of books in general. But my boyfriend moved here with a lot of books and he has two of some of the books. And I'm like, you don't need two. It's like, what are we doing here? So I thought we could do that, like go through even just we have tons of different shelves. So we could just pick one shelf, and like, okay, are there any books on this shelf we can get rid of? And if it was me, I could do that. Like I would just go and like pick through and like make it happen. But it's been hard to like find a time when I can sit down with him and get him to like go through and like build that momentum. But like you said, Joe, once we got started, once he did like one shelf, I bet he'd be motivated to just do the whole thing. It's just getting that first shelf looked at.
I will say for me, like books are super difficult for me as well. Like I have one of my things I love to do, and this is like downtime, like this is just also a way for me to just relax, is I love go thrift shop to thrift stores and look through their used book section.
Yeah.
I have found so many gem of books, like either fiction that I really want to read or nonfiction books. I have found so many, you know, of my Ryan Holiday Stoicism books. I have found like a bunch of leadership books just in the thrift store. I'm like, this is fun, and I, very rarely do I ever just buy something like a book brand new. I'd rather go to the thrift store and just buy used books and have them. The problem is I don't read enough or fast enough to um my books, so they stay on my shelf. The problem is I refuse to get rid of them because I know one day I'm going to read them. It's
Yeah.
just fine. Like it's not even finding that time. It's find the yeah a motivation. B finding a time that I don't feel like I can sit down and read. Um, and maybe that's because like I'm so scatterbrained sometimes, or like I'm so um you know, other competing contingencies, or when I get home, and I would like to do it at the end of the night, but at the end of the night, I'm ready to relax, or I got finished up session notes, and there goes my time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, books are hard for me.
They
But
are, but like I don't know, there's certain ones that I have zero issue getting rid of. Like if I've already read a book, if it's especially if it's like a fiction book, and I read it and I know the
Yeah.
story and I'm definitely not reading again. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. That one can go. If it's something like, the plethora of books I have that I use for trainings and stuff, I'm obviously never getting rid of those. I'll reference those back and whatnot. But the ones that we have no meaning to me because they're my boyfriend's. So I could get rid of all of them. But I wouldn't do that. I'm not that mean. But I do feel like there's definitely ones on there, especially the ones that we have two of that I think we could probably part ways with. I did remember as you were talking, I did do a little bit of spring cleaning because thankfully and this is like I literally would do it in the morning while Taylor was getting ready for school or just like in like a random like 5 minute moment I had of like, okay, it's time to leave in 5 minutes, but like there's nothing else I can do. So I can do this. And it was just getting rid of like clothes and shoes, like donating stuff like that doesn't fit anymore or we don't wear, that kind of thing. So that has been pretty easy to do, especially for his stuff, because it's easy when it's like it doesn't fit him. It's like super easy to be like, here, oh, Nicole, I love your mug. Just be like, yeah, here we go. This doesn't fit. That's easy enough to do. It's harder to get rid of my stuff because I'm constantly like, well, I might wear that again. I don't know. And of course, these are things that I've had for like years and probably will never wear again. But as soon as I get rid of it, then I'll be like, where'd that dress go that I like? And I want it back.
Yeah, I feel you. And that's part of me too, as being a teacher, is like I hold on to stuff. And for years, I remember I think I actually have a flannel of mine that's I wore back in high school that still fits. It's too big for me right now, but it's still like I could use for camping. I had it since high school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could probably just get rid of, but yeah, that's that's in a nutshell. I mean, how do you do with scheduling like spring cleaning
Yeah. I
or
mean, I obviously don't do well with it. So but I think maybe that's going to be my new strategy, though. Like I said, the hard part, though, is a lot of times right now, at least, the things that I'm motivated to get rid of are not mine. So I can't just like get rid of them. So that's a little trickier, but I need to
Yep.
do more with like when I have a sporadic 5 minutes gap of some sort where I could sit and scroll on my phone instead of doing that, like just looking around and seeing what I can either organize or get rid of. But Nicole, you said you guys are working on getting rid of some things right now. Do you have any strategies that you found helpful?
Well, we just kind of pick one room at a time. And I have to rein my husband in a little bit because he has ADHD. So his go-to is to like go into a project for 10 hours and just go all in. But then at the end of it, there's a lot of like unfinished tasks. So I have to cut him off. And I'm like, hey, once we get to a certain point where we have like X number of boxes that need to be donated and X trash and X whatever, we have to like go do those errands before we go any further so that like I feel like a whole area gets finished. So we've been compromising pretty well on that. So we'll pretty much like whatever we finished off from the last weekend, we kind of start off the next weekend, like going to our favorite thrift store and donating stuff and taking stuff to, clothes to a separate place and donating books here and doing whatever and running errands before we like dig into another area. So
Yeah.
that's been helpful.
Yeah, I like that. And then the idea of taking it to your favorite place. That's another thing that gets hard for me. Like right now, I remembered the clothes because I have the trash bag still sitting off to the side of like, oh, I need to take this to the place to donate it. But um and we drive by it like every day almost. Just forget to put it in my car. Oh,
Yeah. We basically made a rule that like we won't attempt to sell anything on Marketplace unless we think it's going to get at least like $20 because we don't dealing with people on Marketplace is so annoying. So we'd rather just give it away because like our thrift store like supports animal shelters and we love it. So we're like, we'll just bring you our stuff. I would rather bring it to you and deal with people on Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, we have a table right now. We switched. So we got this really cool, I think Gino's found it, but it's this really neat table. I'll have to like take a picture and send it to you. It's a table. but then you lift it up and it's a desk and it has like storage too. And you can have one side as a desk and the other side stay as a table and it lifts up and down like super easy. It's on some sort of spring system. So we just
Mhm.
got that and now we need to get rid of the other table that we had. And he tried putting it on Marketplace, but we didn't have any luck. So now I don't mind donating it. It's just it's a much harder task to take. This is like a giant table. So getting it, and we're hoping it fits in our SUV, if we take the legs off or something. But if it doesn't, that's going to be really tricky because then we have to like rent something to take it over. Or I guess there's some places where they'll come pick it up, but sometimes it takes a while to get that scheduled. So
Yeah, I'm on some like, buy nothing, sell nothing, whatever, like local groups where you basically are just giving things away for free. So
yeah,
sometimes if it's something like that we don't want to deal with, we'll just offload it that way. Like it's free if you just come get it. But please
right.
don't message me 500 times about it. It's like just here,
Yeah.
come get it.
Yeah. And
Right now,
that's tricky too, because we live in like a condo. So it's not like we're at a house where we could just even set something outside or like tell people and they say, oh, I'm going to swing by here. Can you put it outside? Because we can't even, we have to like coordinate with them and let the condo know. And it's like so annoying.
Yeah.
yeah, I have a pair of CrossFit tires I'm trying to get rid of right now. That's fun because like, I don't want to transport it to your house or anything. Like the CrossFit tires, they're about like 50 to like, 100 pounds. Like they're heavy. I'm like, but then again, I'm like, I don't want to just like offload them either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I
Okay.
hope you're successful with that.
I know and I can't just take
Should
it
see
to,
if Claire wants them.
maybe I'll ask Claire if she wants
If
them.
she doesn't, I bet she knows someone that would.
Oh,
Claire, and her husband Brad. Well, I don't know if Claire still does, but they were doing a lot of like CrossFit stuff back in the day. She made me go with her one time, and I was like, never. First of all, she said, "Will you come work out with me tomorrow?" And I was like, "Sure." She didn't tell me we had to get up at like 5 a.m. And I was like, "What are we doing?"
do a wad. Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I'm sure you did great with it. Like I know, like a couple of times when I did wads, like I died afterwards. I was like done.
Yeah, I don't know, like some people get super motivated by like doing stuff against other people, but that's
Yeah.
just like I like just doing my own little workout. I don't like being around people when I work out. So it's not, and I don't like getting up at 5 a.m. to work out. No,
Yeah.
not fun. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything for spring cleaning today. So in June, Joe, you and I'll have to touch base with you because I'll be traveling back from Asia when we're supposed to be having our podcast. So we'll have to figure out what day we're gonna do in June. But I think July forward should be good. Like we won't have changes. The look on your face right now, for those are listening, can't see Joe's surprised face.
Asia?
I'm going to China for training and then we're going to Vietnam for a few days. So
Talk about the experience of with different foods. Like that's totally me.
yeah.
But my
That I'm like super picky, so I pretty much eat the same thing every time I travel. But we'll see. I know I love certain foods in Vietnam, but they put a lot of like fish sauce on things, and I don't like the taste of fish. So something will look really good on a menu, and then I get it, and I'm like, oh, because I didn't know it had the fish sauce. I'm like, ah. And then in China, the food's actually way spicier than like the Chinese food we have here. So that was a big difficulty for me last time because the first meal we had, I was like, oh no, I cannot do this.
I love spicy. Give me it. Uh, I've done the one chip challenge before and it was delicious.
Oh no, I couldn't. I can't even do pepper, like black pepper. Like if there, it's nope, it's too much for me.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess we'll talk about it and figure out when we're going to have our next podcast, but I'm sure that's going to come up soon. So,
Yeah, we will have one in June. It just won't be a regular time.
all right.
All right, everyone. Do you want to close us out, Joe?
All right, people, go forth and do better.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.